Here.
Mr. Burgess is present. Mr. Colby.
Here.
Mr. Colby is present. Mr. Delahanty.
Here.
Mr. Delahanty is present. Mr. Vecchio Hoffman.
Present.
Mr. Vecchio Hoffman is present. Chairman Dondorf.
Present.
Chairman Dondorf is present. Ms. Hugh Smith.
Present.
Ms. Hugh Smith is present. Mr. Marionetti.
Here.
Mr. Marionetti is present. Mr. Milne.
Present.
Mr. Milne is present. Ms. Vecchio.
Here.
Ms. Vecchio is present.
Is there anyone signed up for the public forum? Oh, announcement, your mic is hot. Now, is there anyone signed up for public forum?
We have 3 speakers signed up. I will call each speaker up one by one. You have 2 minutes to address the committee, and once you hear the timer, if you can kindly conclude your remarks. First speaker is Shirley Thompson.
He's coming up.
Bob on.
I know it's early. I thought the Public Defenders Selection Committee might be on the agenda. I'll be brief. I think this committee and the legislature has really been put in a pretty untenable position. And I think steps need to be taken to try to restore confidence in the selection of public defender. And I know all of us share the same goal to select the most qualified of those who applied. The posted, and I will leave with the chair, the posted position of public defender lays out 4 minimum requirements: be an attorney, thorough knowledge of the law relating to defense, an ability to work with judges and others, and the 4th, have an extensive legal and supervisory experience, the ability to effectively manage staff attorneys and other employees. There are 152 employees in the Public Defender's Office, 101 attorneys. I think, unfortunately, the selection committee has shown a pretty egregious pattern of who it selects to be qualified. First, former public defender Tim Doniger. He's highly recognized and respected, I'm sure, here and throughout the legal community and community at large. Tim wrote to Mr. Van Loon, the chair of the selection committee, that the acting public defender, quote, had the qualities best suited to the position of leadership and superior skills to provide the staff attorneys. I'm going to be short. I'll try to hurry, okay? To be a role model, to be an effective public defender. The acting public defender meets and exceeds all 4 of those. The committee selected 4 finalists. 2 met the minimum requirements, 2 did not. And now the legislature is presented 2 candidates that the committee deems the most qualified of all candidates. Clearly, 1 meets all 4. Clearly, the second meets 3 of the 4, and not the extensive supervisory and management. At the selection committee's public forum, unfortunately, 2 committee members vigorously applauded the opening statement of 1 candidate, but did not applause at all for the rest. And during the question and answer period, chairman of the committee directed the 4 candidates not to answer a question asked by a member of the audience. Later, the same question was asked by another audience member. The question: would the candidates release what they presented in writing to the selection committee, such as their resume, attachments to the application, and the like? 3 candidates quickly said yes, including two of the submitted to the ledge. They jumped so quickly, the chair couldn't cut them off.
Sure, if I could just ask you to summarize.
All right, I have two more sentences, I think. Thank you for, they're just serious concerns about the practices and process. And I think the public safety and the legislature really has to establish integrity and confidence in the process and really demonstrate some restorative actions to address individuals. And I think there's at least one specific step to do that. I'm leaving copies of the job description with minimum requirements, the former public defender's letter, and what I just said. Thank you for, I really did think I could do it in 2 minutes. So let me
Did you practice in front of
leave
the
this.
mirror?
Huh?
Did you practice in front of the mirror?
No, sometimes I look in the mirror and I can't recognize myself because I've lost more hair. Here, I'll get out of the way for the next speaker. Don't hold them up.
Our next speaker is James Thompson. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I too have come to speak about the public defender selection. I'm no expert at selecting a public defender, but I've been attending court as a part of the Judicial Observation Project, and I've really been feeling for the many indigent defendants I saw, especially black and brown ones who just come in and they get ground up in the wheels of justice. So I've been disappointed at the process because it hasn't felt transparent at all. I did read the letter. Well, first of all, I went to the meeting that was back on the 18th, and I saw the 4 finalists, and they all had good things, and I'm happy that you finalized it down to the 2 people who had some experience in defending people. But the optics of the process was really bad. Although supposedly, can we name names? Mr. Van Loon said that they strove to create a public process, but the meetings with community members and clergy and finalists were pretty much closed, it felt like. I was also disturbed to hear that the candidate selection process didn't allow for discussion of the candidates among the selection committee. So why is there a need for a secret ballot among just a handful of people? It seems like that sets up an opportunity for secret prejudicial voting. Why not have open debate about who you want, what you want, and why? There were questions about how the committee was selected in the first place. Why did Ms. Lamar select so many people by herself? Maybe her reasoning was good, but I don't think the ends always justify the means. I think we have to be really careful with that. It seems that if it wasn't, it would have been good to start the process from the ground up, and I'm just about finished, with a new committee selection that didn't feel tainted. The people who were chosen shouldn't have to live under that kind of sense. And we're coming into an era where we need to have more participatory democracy. I think it's time for government functions to take on a new transparency. These things that are hidden from fresh air tend to die and get rotten. So we all are looking to vote for people who are going to be transparent in the future, and I think all legislators should keep that in mind. Thank you very much.
Our last speaker is Shirley Thompson.
I will pass, thank you.
Okay, is there anybody present who signed up to speak, who did not sign up to speak, would like to address the committee at this time? All right, seeing none. Moving on, the next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. We have the March 22nd, 2022 meeting minutes before you. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of the day. Next item on the agenda is new business. Mr. Clerk.
Referral number 22-0134, authorized intermunicipal agreements with Genesee and Livingston counties for forensic laboratory services provided by the Monroe County Crime Laboratory.
Legislator Mill, move it, please.
Moved by legislator Mills, seconded by legislator Marianetti. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral number 22-0135, acceptance of a grant from the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services for the Operation Stone Garden Program and authorized intermunicipal agreements with the towns of Greece, Arundequoit, and Webster.
Move, Mr. Chairman. Second.
Moved by legislator Marianetti, seconded by legislator Colby. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Legislator. Yes, ma'am.
Please. Operation Stone Garden Program, through you, Mr. Chair, to the administration. Can someone elaborate more on the activities? In particular, it says, I understand it's Homeland Security, but what types of activities would that include?
Through the chair, Jennifer Curley from the Sheriff's Office. This funding's been around for quite a while. It's through the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, and it's passed down to Border Patrol. And Border Patrol has designated areas where there is need for extra security, and Monroe County is one of those areas.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. So for Border Patrol operations would include detaining of folks who are in the country without all the necessary paperwork?
Through the chair, yes, if they came upon one of those individuals. I don't think they've come upon, I don't believe they have had any in the past several years. So I know they do conduct traffic stops and they patrol the areas, but I mean, they would provide they would do their duty as a law enforcement officer.
I guess through you, Mr. Chair, I'm not sure I fully understand the response. Are you saying that the Border Patrol operations is not actively seeking out people who are undocumented?
They're looking at securing our borders, so any illegal activity. So that could be drugs coming across, guns, suspects, anything. So it's not just illegals.
Correct. I understand that complexity, and there's a full variety of things that are occurring through you, Mr. Chair. I'm trying to understand if this Border Patrol operations are specifically seeking out to locate and detain undocumented human beings.
Through the chair, that is not their sole purpose.
Through you, Mr. Chair, but I then take your answer to mean that is one of their purposes.
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Through you, Mr. Chair, to the administration, from your response, it would sound as if that is at least one of their purposes, to locate and detain undocumented individuals.
Through the chair, yes, I guess that's my response.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Through the chair, there was a word used, I think illegals. Can I get a definition of what that means?
Through the chair, I'm not a federal lawyer, or I did not write the law. I do not know that definition unless someone here knows that.
I mean, I hate to use the word assume, but I believe that she may have been referring to people who are here without proper documentation to be in this country.
Chair, is that what you mean when you say illegals?
So I don't think she's qualified to answer that question. I mean, I guess where are you going with the questioning?
I'd like to know what was meant by the word illegal when referring to people in this county.
Okay, but that doesn't have anything to do with the matter at hand. If they're looking for people who are undocumented, that's part of their enforcement that they're looking to do.
I think it has to do with legislator Houston's question. To clarify, when we're talking about Homeland Security with this referral, is it just border security or are there other things that are considered Homeland Security under this referral?
Through the chair, I answered that. It's all Homeland Security. So drugs, terrorists, guns, anything related to the security of the homeland. So you had used the word illegals. I mean, if they came across somebody that wasn't supposed to be here, they're gonna investigate and figure it out, but that's not the whole idea of this.
What's up? Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Seven to two, item carries. Next item.
Referral number 22-0136, authorize an intermunicipal agreement with the Rochester City School District for an administrative and education liaison provider with Raise the Age Youth.
Move it, Mr. Chairman.
Second. Moved by legislator Colby, seconded by legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Legislator Colby?
To you, Mr. Chairman, how has Raise the Youth affected the service program that we are now operating under? Or will affect this program?
Through the chair, Jennifer Ball from probation. Could you repeat the question or elaborate on service?
The Raise the Youth age limit that we just was passed a couple of years ago, how has that affected the amount of service or the type of service or the cost of that, of the service of this program? Because this is an ongoing program, I believe. Am I correct?
Through the chair, yes, that is correct. This is, this service, the educational liaison, is paid for through the Raise the Age grant, so that is covered entirely by that grant money.
This person isn't working with the youth directly, it's more administrative, making sure things are done. Is that correct, through the chair?
Through the chair, no, that is not correct. The educational administrator and the liaison is his actual term. So far in 2021-22 has worked with 160 individuals. He's on pace to work with 320 youth. In 2019-20, he worked with 228 youth. And in 2020-21, he worked with 287. His primary job is to work directly with youth.
And through you, Mr. Chairman, what do you mean by work with? Is that educational or making sure he gets the proper resources?
Through the chair, what that means is that he works with youth who are at risk of truancy. He works with the school district, he works with DHS, so when we have children who are entering back in from detention or placement, he facilitates the return to school. He identifies barriers to school, anything that he can do to help assist youth as they navigate the school system, and also to increase their attendance.
Thank you. Through the chair, one last question. Do we have any kind of a program like this for other school districts besides the Rochester School District?
Through the chair, yes, every school district has a social worker. The reason we have this educational liaison is because the majority of the youth that are active with probation are through the city school district.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Through the chair of the administration, what is the age range that this liaison works with?
Through the chair, the age range varies in that Raise the Age was intended for 16 and 17-year-olds. However, in order to provide them services, we need to ensure that youth that are younger than that age also receive services. So he works with individuals that are younger than that. And then beyond that, the 16 and 17-year-olds continue to age. So he can work with someone on up through the age of 20 or so.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral number 22-0137, amend resolution 40 of 2021, authorize intermunicipal agreements with municipalities within Monroe County for the live scan equipment grant program.
Move it, Mr. Chairman. Legislator Milne, second.
Moved by legislator Delahanty, seconded by legislator Milne. Is there any questions? Legislator Vecchio. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Comments?
Legislator Eastman, thank you. Could, through you, Mr. Chair, to the administration, just give me a quick explanation of what live scan equipment does, where it's.
Through the chair, Jennifer Curley again from the Sheriff's Office. LiveScan is the, it's equipment and software that sends all the data from an arrest to DCGS to include fingerprints, photos, and all like pedigree information.
Thank you, that's great. And I understand there was a countywide records management system that was anticipated to be completed by July 2021. Can you provide an update on that?
Through the chair, yes, it has been completed.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Legislator Foley.
Through the chair, are all the towns, all the municipality police departments, using this equipment now? I see we're adding Ogden for this group, and you list other ones. How are ones chose, or are they all now included in this program?
Through the chair, yeah, once Ogden heard we were all getting equipment, then they decided they wanted new equipment too. And we had enough funds. We went out to bid, and I had enough to fund them. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come to you, but I had enough, so I figured we might as well include them.
So is there any municipality police department that's not included in that?
Just the city of Rochester, I believe they applied for their own grant because they are the city.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Two things before we stop. Congratulations to legislator Marionetti and his wife on the birth of their child. And our condolences to Mercy's Light, Western New York, who suffered a tragic loss today in the crash of one of their helicopters and the loss of 2 of their crew members. Are there any other matters to come before this committee? There being no other matters, the April 26, 2022 meeting of the Public Safety Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting of the Public Safety Committee will be held on Tuesday, May 24th, 2022 at 5:30 p.m.